You have two choices when it comes to AI. You can either adopt it or you can get left behind. But here's the problem.
Hey guys, welcome back on the third video of the series. This video is a bit long and I apologize for that. Just to get started, as I mentioned before, the animations are gonna go from simple to more complex. So the video after this is even more complex. And just for your information guys, I might be dropping the project file to this animation in the description, so make sure to check that out. There's 3 or 4 more videos for this series, so make sure you turn on the notification. And if you want to improve even more further, check out my portfolio. You can purchase project files from there of already made videos, and these project files are amazing videos which I made, and they're completely in Iman Gadzhi editing style, so you can take a lot of inspiration from it, you can take a lot of help from it, and you can make use of a lot of ready-made stuff. Now in the first video, this was the animation that we did. So in order you want to see this animation, you can go to that video. And in the second video, this is the animation that we did. So as I mentioned before, we're gonna keep leveling up the complexity of animations. And so in this video, we're gonna try to replicate this animation by Iman Gadzhi.
You have two choices when it comes to AI. You can either adopt it or you can get left behind. But
now, just to not overcomplex this animation by looking at it over and over again, I'm just gonna take screenshots for the different scenes and I'm gonna import them here. So now let me import scene 1 onto our composition. Our composition setting obviously gonna be 1920 by 1080p. I suggest you go with 30 fps, but it's mostly recommended to keep the resolution and the fps of the original footage. So now we have this, and now what we want to do is we want to replicate the elements that are used here. Now obviously I don't recommend anyone to just copy off Iman Gadzhi exactly, but the key is to understand how Iman Gadzhi's editors use the storytelling's animation in order to enhance the video, but I'm just doing it for the sake of this video. So let's start with these elements first. So now I just put lines to exactly measure the dimensions of the element that was used. So now you're gonna head on to the rectangle tool, gonna hold this and go on to the rectangle tool, just do this, simple. And now you wanna bring on the box that says number 2, like that, number 1. Sorry, and this box is a bit curved, so we're gonna go to the rounded rectangle tool and we're gonna use it, and here we go. Now we just want to head over to the font and put our font. Make sure the size is smaller and in the middle of the box, so you're just gonna click on the box and you're gonna click on the number and you're gonna, so now we're just gonna place this in the middle and add number 1 instead. It's not the same, so we're just gonna use a simple font, Arial black. Let's make it bold. Wanna add the second element, we just wanna do the exact same things. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna copy both of these and paste them like that. However, just flip them. Now we're gonna take the number, duplicate it, paste it as number 2, place it in the middle, and we just want to remove all the rulers now. Now obviously these numbers are in black, so we're gonna come here and just make them black. I'm not a fan of the Arial font, so let's change it up and just put this font instead. It's called Montserrat. Now we just want to pre-compose these individually. We're gonna do like that, Control Shift C to pre-compose, and we're gonna do element right num1, and the left is gonna be element left. And now what we want to do is we want to pre-compose, so we're gonna do like this, Control Shift C, element left num1. Now we're gonna do the same for this, element right num2. Now we're gonna set a standard for the time it's taken between the keyframes, these animations. Now we're gonna design the second element in the scene, which is you have two choices. So let's make this really, we're just gonna grab our rounded rectangle tool and we're gonna make a rounded rectangle this way. Let's cover this up, and now we just write you have two choices. Now we're just gonna scale this down and remove the caps obviously. Let's make this white so that it's more viewable. We compress this a bit and even this way. Alright, now we can just place it this way and we're good. Obviously your shape layer is gonna be different color. In our situation we're gonna have it as yellow. So you go to the fill, you come here and you just make it yellow, and you're gonna make the second part of the text black. Let's scale this up a bit and we're good to go. Now what we want to do is we want to sync the animations the same way Iman Gadzhi did it here. You can see that the you have two choices comes up first, and then element 1 comes, and then element 2 comes. So the first thing we want to do is we want to take all these. We're gonna set the anchor point in the middle by doing Control Alt Home, and now the anchor point is in the middle. And then we want to add the null layer. We just pull the null layer over like this, and we link both of these to the null layer. And we're just gonna make the animation like 2 seconds. I don't know how many seconds Iman Gadzhi did it. And this is pretty much the graph we're gonna use. You're gonna F9. Make sure you switch to speed graph. Now we have this. Now we want to reveal the two choices like Iman Gadzhi did. So once the animation is almost there, what we want to do over here is we want to reveal two choices. Now one mistake I did was that these are not separated. So to separate it, it's pretty simple. You're just gonna duplicate. You're gonna remove this two like that, and you're gonna remove this two like this, and gonna make it. Now what we want to do is we want to have the text layer below our shape layer, and we're gonna do alpha matte. Now we just want to position it this way. Let's make this around 15 frames, around 20 frames, and just position it this way. And then F9, come over here and just make it a bit sharper. Just make it this way, and we're just gonna make this come a bit from more down, and we're gonna slow this down a bit more. It's too fast. This looks perfect to me. So the animation of two choices is around 1 second. What we want to do is, now obviously it's gonna come in this way. Now we want to do everything efficiently and the way that it's supposed to be done, and I'm gonna show you guys how we're gonna do that. So we duplicate the shape layer that's used. We're gonna place this on top of two choices. You see how it's covered out now. We're gonna come here and do alpha inverted matte. We're gonna come here and we're gonna do alpha matte. Now you see that if I do like that, the text is revealing from the box. So let's play the animation real quick. Obviously the two choices is coming pretty late, so we want it to come earlier. Here we go. So we're just gonna select them, press P on our keyboard, and go to 2 seconds. Place another keyframe, and let's pull both of these upward. We're gonna do this animation. We're just gonna do this graph. And now let's look at it. Obviously none of these are synced, so we want the first one to play the you have element to come first. Once this is revealed, we're gonna reveal this too, just like how Iman Gadzhi did. So we're gonna drag this, a bit more delayed, and now we wanna do these this way. So number 1 comes first, and then the you have two choices comes first. Now let's look at the final animation. Perfect. Now if you realize behind the two choices there is a little black fade, so let's do that as well. So we want to set our screen to transparent. We want to get solid and just make it black. We want to take our mask and just mask this out halfway. And now we're gonna do something pretty simple, is that we're gonna place a feather. And now that we've taken the solid, we want to make a mask. So for the mask we want to extend this way, just make it halfway. Alright, you want to make it pretty big, and now you want to come to feather and make a feather this way. We're just gonna place this below all of these, and we're gonna pull this down. Now obviously the feather feels like it's still a bit less, so let's increase it. I think we're good to go. Now obviously we wanna position our solid as well, so we're gonna do position, and just while this is coming we make it come as well. Just make it come like that, and we're gonna make a pretty sharp graph this way. Now obviously the mask is a bit messed up because it feels like it's covering the whole screen, even on the top part. Now obviously our background is black, so this is just unnecessary for now, but I did it for the sake of showing you guys it. And now we want to move on to scene 2. Let's put it on the composition. Gonna scale this down a bit because the screenshot was not perfect obviously. Alright, I guess this works. Now let's say we're gonna start our second scene from here. Let's place a marker from 4:15 and let's delay this a bit as well. Okay, and now our second scene is gonna start from this part. So let me remove the screenshot of scene 1 and put in screenshot of scene 2. So let me just turn on scene 2 screenshot, place it downward. Now we want to see, now as you can see, our element 1 goes to the top corner and our element 2 hides out. And so let's do it. We're gonna place other 2 position keyframes for these. Let's go 1 second ahead, let's go 2 seconds ahead and just place our number 1 like that. We also want to position our scale. Alright, and obviously we want to scale down the position 2 as well, just as much as we scale down for position 1, which is almost 50. And so let me hide this out. So for the graphs, we're gonna come in here, we're gonna do F9 and let's set this graph, which is gonna be 75% on both of the sides. Perfect. And what we want to do is we want to bring up the ChatGPT screen. So to bring up that, let's open ChatGPT real quick. So here's ChatGPT. Now we have to replicate the ChatGPT screen. And to do that, unfortunately, we can't just go to ChatGPT and take a screenshot because the designing has been changed, but it's pretty easy to replicate this. So first things first, we need the logo. I'm gonna search up ChatGPT logo. I'm gonna come to you guys back after I have found the elements for all these things. It's pretty simple to do it. It's just one Google search away. I guess all I needed was actually just the logo. So let me do the designing now. Set the logo. We need to create this box, so let's do that real quick. As I said, you're gonna take the rounded tool. Stroke is gonna be 0 and fill is gonna be set to the exact same color, and you're just gonna do this. Now for this arrow, it's not too hard, just gonna go to the pen tool and you're gonna have to replicate the arrow. Now for the arrow, it's not too hard and it's also in the ChatGPT website, so I'm just gonna screenshot it real quick. And here we have the arrow, so let me turn this on and just set it in the exact same place. Let me scale it down and do it this way. The fill on this one is gonna be in the exact same color as this one because this comes from ChatGPT. And now let's check our design yet. This is our design yet. We just need to add the text now. So obviously let me just move all of these to this part first and then hide it. Now we just need to write down ChatGPT and you can either adopt it. Obviously you have 2 choices. We're gonna remove it the same way that Iman Gadzhi's editors did. But let's do this first. Let's write down you can either adopt it, scale it down the same way, and this is gonna be set at extra light, or actually regular. It's gonna be set at white. The glow and all these things will be done at the end of the video. The designing should always be first, and then the animation, and then the other elements that are supposed to be applied. And then we have one more text that is needed, which is the last one. It's gonna be ChatGPT. Obviously the text can be also screenshotted from the website, but I'd rather just do it here. Let's position this exactly this way. Scale it up and we're good to go. The last thing we would need is the background, which is actually pretty simple. So for the background, just gonna make a solid. Let's set it to the same color. We're gonna go to vignette, CC vignette, and now you can see it's almost similar. Let's make this a bit more, and I think we're good to go. Obviously we don't need the scene 2 screenshot anymore. Let's place this down and let's move everything for the scene 2 right over here. This is gonna be moved a bit more down. Here we go. Now we need to animate everything. So it's pretty simple. Let's start with it. As I said, all our animations are gonna start exactly from here. So we're gonna place position first. We're gonna go 1 second ahead exactly. Come back to our actual position and make this come from down, just the way Iman did it, just the way Iman's editor did it. We're gonna set this graph. As I said, it's 80 to the both sides or 75 to the both sides. And now we're just gonna do the reveal on the letters. So we're gonna come to animate and then opacity. And from opacity, you're gonna set the opacity 0. And what you want to do is you want it to just keyframe the start. So starting is gonna go from 0 to 100 obviously, and we do the exact same graph here. It's perfect. Obviously the animations are not synced, which I'm gonna do later. Now we want to animate the other things. So obviously the behind box and the arrow are gonna move along with the text, so we're just gonna null it to the text this way. What we want to do is we want to put opacity keyframes. You're gonna press T on your keyboard from 0 to 100 for both, and the same graph that goes in the middle one. Here we go. Now we need to hide, or you have two choices obviously. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take an easy shortcut. I'm gonna place the background that's supposed to be there, and I'm just gonna place these two above the background, and I'm gonna put the opacity on the background from 0 to 100, just like that. And also this needs to go down. Perfect. Some of the things feel a bit sharp, and I think it's the graph, so let's just lighten the graph a bit and we make it 65 on both sides. Now it's much smoother. Perfect. Now what we want to do is we want to reveal the ChatGPT and the logo as well. So for this, it's pretty simple. We just need to do position and opacity. So let me just place both of these together. P, and then click P on your keyboard and then Shift T. Put keyframe for both of them. Put it like this. We want both of these to come positioned a bit from up, and like this. We just want them to be set as 65 on both sides. You can do them manually if you don't have the script obviously. And the position feels a bit too much, so let's slow that down. Alright, now what we need to do is the syncing. So let's do the syncing. So we're gonna actually shift these to come a bit later. Let's take the solid as well. There we go. You can see the syncing is almost perfect now. And the last thing that we need to animate is this arrow. Let's do position like this, and this comes all the way from here, and we're gonna set a sharp graph just like this. Perfect. Now we can move on to scene number 3. This is what we did yet. Perfect. Let's move on to scene number 3. So let's start our animation from here. Now what we need to do is actually we need to pre-compose scene number, but we're not gonna take the solid, obviously because it will hide everything that's down. But we're gonna pre-compose what we can. ChatGPT part, and then we're gonna make the solid just linked to this, so anything that we move, the solid's gonna move as well. Now I just imported scene 3, and let's actually start it immediately 2 seconds after. So let's replay this. Okay, and we move on to the second part. Alright, so what we need to do right now is we need to scale this down in order to have this half thing. So the anchor point is gonna have to be in the corner this way, and we're gonna have to do the scale. Let's make the animation up until 815, and we're just gonna scale it down this way. Now obviously it is not perfect, but let's see what we can do. Now let's just place this down like this and see what we can do. We need to scale it up a bit and we need to move it. Alright, not too hard. Let's do that actually. Scale this down this much, and we're gonna position this way. The graph is gonna be in the middle. Now obviously this is not perfect, so what I can do is I can just make this scale. So what I can do is I can actually keyframe the CC vignette to lower the amount. You're gonna know why. Just gonna make it much lesser, and I'm gonna add motion tile. Let's put the motion tile settings, and here we have it. Let's look at scene 3 again. Now we need to reveal the second part. So let me put a ruler and just set a line. I'm gonna show you guys how to do this exact line actually. This way, this way, make this white, scale it up, place it in the middle exactly. I think we're good to go. Probably don't need scene 2 anymore. Now obviously, as you can see, the line is a bit interrupting. Let's blink the line to that. It is weird, but we're gonna animate the line as well. So for the line, actually I think we don't link it. So for the line, what we need to do is we need to just position it from outside this way and put the same graph. Amazing. Now this line is gonna separate the second design, and the second design is actually pretty easy. So what we need is a Windows 7 background first. So what we need first is the Windows 7 background. Here it is. Just imported it. So I'm just gonna scale this up, and I'm gonna have it this way. Now what we want to do is we want to link this to the line. So you're gonna see what's gonna happen now. This is actually perfect. Now we just need to do 2 more designs. It's nothing too hard. So to design it real quick, I'm gonna go to the rounded rectangle tool first, and I'm gonna get this part. Stroke needs to be 0. And as I said, we're not cloning everything at all. Okay, we're just gonna leave it like that. Doesn't have to be too accurate. And then we take the rectangle tool, place it like this. And the last thing we need is the final rounded tool. That's gonna have our stroke this way. Now let's put this off. So this one is gonna be set to blue color. And this one is gonna be set to gray. And this one is gonna be set to gray. Just to copy the exact same colors, what we can do is we can put this on top and see, it turns out that it's not actually gray, it's white. The memory doesn't always stay good. And now I can just hide this. And then we have the final stroke. So for the stroke, let's make it like 5. Let's set the color to this one. And as you can see, it's a bit out of place over there. I guess this is pretty good. And now the things that we need is just the text and the OK and all this. So you guys pretty much know that how it would be. It's pretty simple. I'm gonna come back to you guys once I've done copying the elements. Now I think we're somewhat done with the designing. Unfortunately, I couldn't find the exact fonts. However, it doesn't matter that much. Let's pre-compose all of these. As you can see, I think it's gonna be from here. No, all of these. So we're gonna just name it error box. And now what I'm gonna do is, let me just set all of these to come from the starting. I'm just gonna set this to the line. Now let's look at the animations. Here we go. Perfect. Amazing. I'd say that's one hell of a replication. And just one last animation that is left is actually the number So let's reveal that exactly at the time that this gets revealed. So obviously we're gonna have to cut because it's below all of these. Let me remove all the keyframes that are here, and I'm gonna move this one upward, and let me try this. Let me see what happens. Okay, that's not how we wanted it, but we wanted it to be like here. So I think it should be fine now. Yep. However, I think actually Iman Gadzhi did not do it that way. He did not link it. So we're just gonna position this individually. We're gonna make it come from outside this way over here, and just set a keyframe like this. Alright, that's too early. We want it to come like almost at this moment. It's too slow. Let's make it sharper. And yep. One last thing is the error box is also gonna be scaled from up to down. So let's do that. Scale. Make it come from 0. Just the moment it starts revealing. F9. Come here. Do this graph. Now last but not least, we have the mouse cursor. Honestly, I just had this one in my folder rather than downloading it. I think I'm just gonna use this one, even though it's not perfect, it does the job. So I got a mouse cursor, and what we want to do is we just want to scale this down. Let's make it fill to the color white only. We don't want extra stuff. And what we're gonna do is actually gonna position this from down to all the way up, just like this, and we're gonna make the middle. Alright, let's just fix this up a bit more. The cursor I use is wrong, but it does the job. We need to change the graph for this one actually and make it this instead. Now the last part for this is actually pretty simple. So what we're gonna do is, instead of complicating things, we're gonna pre-comp all of this, and we're gonna split it the moment the animation stops. So the animation stops here. Now we have the ruler, obviously, just place it in the middle. We're gonna have to duplicate this and make two masks, one for this side and one for this side. Now what we want to do is we want to do position. We want to go around 1 second ahead, and we want to move each thing towards the ending like this. Now we're gonna set this graph. Obviously that's a bit too fast. Let's slow it down. And here we are. This is perfect. Let's look at it the last time. And now what we need to do is we need to add deep glow, posterize time, and other elements that were left, and we're gonna be basically done. We're basically done at this point with all the animations and design. We just need to add a little bit of stuff to add final touchings, which are really important. So because the video has been taken so long, I'm just gonna show you guys immediately the presets rather than adding them. But you can see here I added deep glow, which right now when I turn on, it creates this really nice effect. And after this deep glow, obviously you can copy the settings. You're gonna pre-compose all of this, and once you pre-compose, you're gonna come into the main layer, which has everything. And over here you're gonna add posterize time. I already showed the settings in the previous videos, but I'm gonna show it again. And then we have a film grain, and that's it. Okay, so let's check out the final animation. And once this finishes, we're gonna peace out. So let's check it out here. Perfect. Amazing. Alright guys, thank you for watching this video. Can't wait to see you guys on the next video. The next video is actually really good, so make sure you turn on the notification and subscribe. If this video gets 1k views, then I will drop the next one after 2 days. See you guys, peace out.